Gentlemen, here's something to think about. This morning, you could stir a spoonful of ordinary white powder into your coffee or water. Within days, you might feel a warmth and vitality returning where it matters most. That solid, confident feeling you remember from younger years. No doctor visits, no risky medications, just 60 seconds each morning. Yet, shockingly, most guys your age don't know this exists. I'm Dr. Laura. As a men's health specialist, I've spent my career helping men reignite that spark. Whether you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, I've seen firsthand how the right natural approach can restore performance and confidence you assumed were lost forever. Your best years might still be ahead. Here's the surprising truth: the biggest reason men lose their edge after 60 isn't always testosterone. It's the loss of blood flow caused by a drop in nitric oxide. Without it, even the strongest desire can't deliver results. But there's a way to naturally restore that flow, and it doesn't come from a pharmacy. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the natural amino acid that works with your body to boost nitric oxide, open up your arteries, and send healthy blood exactly where you need it most so you can enjoy stronger, longer lasting erections without risky drugs. But before I tell you exactly what it is, you need to understand why circulation changes so dramatically after 60 and why fixing this hidden cause could be the single most important thing you do for your health and your masculinity this year. Before we get started, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button and turn on the bell so you won't miss any of my health tips designed specifically for men over 60. And if this message resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0 and tell me how I can make these videos even more helpful for you. Why circulation declines so dramatically after 60 now. Let's talk about why circulation down there changes so dramatically after 60. Understanding what's really happening inside your blood vessels is the first step to fixing the problem, and it will make the solution I'm about to share with you even more powerful and effective. When you cross the threshold of 60, your body carries with it decades of history, years of hard work, stress, celebrations, losses, and everyday living. Every heartbeat, every meal, every late night has left its quiet mark on your blood vessels. And for many men, that history starts to speak loudly in one very personal way. Things down there just aren't the same. I've sat across from countless men in my office who whisper their frustrations, some embarrassed, some angry, others simply resigned. They tell me they feel fine otherwise, but when the moment comes, the response just isn't there. And often they think it's purely about desire or testosterone. But in truth, it's a story about circulation. Inside your body are miles of blood vessels, from thick highways like the arteries in your legs and heart to delicate side streets no wider than a strand of hair. The smallest of these feed your penis, and they're about 3 times narrower than the arteries in your heart. That means any stiffness, plaque buildup, or inflammation shows up there first, long before you might notice trouble elsewhere. Over time, the once flexible lining of those vessels, the endothelium, becomes less responsive. It doesn't open as easily when you need a rush of blood. And without that rapid surge, you can't get or keep the firmness you once took for granted.
What makes this even more frustrating is that it's not always dramatic. The change is slow, almost invisible at first. You might notice mornings are different, or that you need more direct stimulation. Maybe it's taking longer, or you're losing firmness halfway through. And that quiet shift can make you start avoiding intimacy, even if you don't say it out loud. But here's the part that should give you hope. Just because these changes are common after 60 doesn't mean they're permanent. In fact, once you understand the real culprit behind this decline, you can take targeted steps to reverse it. And to do that, we need to talk about one molecule that controls whether your blood flows freely or gets stuck in traffic, and why your body makes so much less of it with age. That's where things get very interesting. Nitric oxide, the master key to blood flow. When I first started practicing medicine, I thought I understood why so many men struggled with performance after a certain age. I assumed it was all about hormones, testosterone to be specific. But as I dug deeper into the research and spent more time listening to my patients, a different picture emerged. Time and again, I found men whose testosterone levels were still in a healthy range. Yet their ability to get and keep a firm erection had faded. That's when I began to focus on something most men have never even heard of: nitric oxide. Nitric oxide isn't a supplement or a vitamin. It's a molecule your body naturally produces, and it is the single most important chemical signal for your blood vessels to relax and open wide. Without it, blood can't flow freely, especially into the smallest, most delicate arteries. Think of it like the green light at an intersection. Without that signal, traffic backs up. Your heart might still be pumping. Your desire might still be there, but without nitric oxide, the blood simply can't reach where it needs to go. The hard truth is that your body's ability to produce nitric oxide drops sharply with age. By 40, production is already in decline. By 60, it can be cut in half. That means your blood vessels aren't getting the same open up message they once did. And here's where it gets personal. In the penis, where blood flow is the very foundation of performance, this drop in nitric oxide is devastating. It's the silent reason why a man might go from full confidence to frustration in just a few short years. I've had men tell me they tried medications that promised to fix the problem overnight, only to be left with headaches, flushing, or disappointment. Those drugs might push the system temporarily, but they don't address the deeper issue: your body's dwindling nitric oxide reserves. And here's where the good news comes in. There is a way to naturally restore those reserves, to help your body start making nitric oxide again day after day. It's safe, it's simple, and it starts with something you can measure in a single spoonful. That's where the story takes a powerful turn. The simple solution: 1 spoonful of L-citrulline.
Over the years, I've watched countless men chase complicated routines in search of better performance, strict diets, expensive supplements, grueling workouts, only to burn out before they ever saw real results. The truth is, most men over 60 don't need something complicated. They need something simple, something they can do without thinking, something that fits right into the rhythm of their mornings. That's where this 1 spoon comes in. The first time I recommended L-citrulline powder to a patient, I'll admit I wasn't expecting a miracle. I knew the science. L-citrulline is an amino acid that your body converts into L-arginine, which then becomes nitric oxide, the very molecule that signals your blood vessels to relax and open. But I didn't know how powerful it could be when taken consistently every morning in just the right amount.
A few weeks later, that same patient came back to my office smiling in a way I hadn't seen before. He told me he felt warmer, more energetic, and without going into too much detail, that his confidence in the bedroom was back in a way he thought was gone forever. 1 teaspoon. That's all it took to start giving his body the raw material it needed to restore blood flow where it mattered most. And it's not just him. I've seen men in their late 60s and 70s feel the same transformation. The beauty of L-citrulline is that it works with your body, not against it. It doesn't force an artificial rush of blood. It gradually rebuilds your ability to create nitric oxide naturally, so your results feel steady, reliable, and real. And perhaps best of all, it's easy. You can mix it into water, juice, or a morning smoothie. No timing charts, no complex regimens, just one small habit that you can stick to every single day.
But while this habit can change your physical reality, there's another side to poor circulation that no amount of science can ignore. And it's the part that hits closest to the heart. That's what we need to talk about next: the emotional cost of poor circulation. I've sat across from men in my office who can talk about their cholesterol numbers, their blood pressure, even their heart surgeries without flinching. But when the conversation turns to intimacy, their voices drop, their eyes shift, and there's often a long pause before they speak. Poor circulation down there doesn't just affect the body, it cuts into a man's sense of self in ways that are hard to put into words. It's not just about whether you can perform, it's about confidence, connection, and identity.
I remember one patient, a proud, hardworking man in his late 60s, telling me he avoided even small moments of affection with his wife because he didn't want to start something he couldn't finish. You could see the frustration in his face, but underneath that was something heavier. The quiet grief of feeling like an important part of his life had slipped away. This is the hidden cost of poor blood flow. It's not just physical, it's emotional, and it can create distance in relationships that used to feel effortless. When circulation suffers, it can lead to hesitation, second guessing, and even withdrawal from intimacy altogether. Some men throw themselves into work, hobbies, or other distractions. But deep down, the absence of closeness leaves a hollow space. It's a loneliness that can exist even when you're sitting next to someone you love. The good news is, I've seen this change. I've seen men come back to life, not just physically, but emotionally. When their blood flow improves, smiles return. Lightness comes back into conversations. Touch feels natural again. This is why addressing circulation is about so much more than performance. It's about restoring a part of life that brings joy, purpose, and connection. But to make that kind of change last, you need more than just the desire to improve. You need a habit so simple and effective that it becomes part of your life without effort, and that's where the real power of one spoon every morning becomes crystal clear. Making the habit stick, consistency over complexity.
Over the years, I've noticed something consistent among my patients. It's not that they don't want to take care of themselves, it's that complicated plans rarely stick. I've seen men try restrictive diets that lasted a week, gym memberships that turned into unused key cards, and supplement stacks so large they look like pharmacy shelves. The truth is, life after 60 already comes with enough challenges. The last thing you need is a health routine that feels like a second job. That's why one spoon works. It's simple. You don't have to rearrange your day, memorize a schedule, or track every meal. You wake up, take a teaspoon of L-citrulline powder, mix it into a glass of water or juice, drink it, and you're done. No thinking, no stress, just a small, consistent action that sets the tone for the rest of your day. And here's the beauty of it: when something is easy, you actually stick with it. I've had patients tell me that before they tried this, they felt overwhelmed by all the rules they were supposed to follow. But when they started this simple habit, they found it wasn't just doable, it was enjoyable. They could feel their energy improving, their hands and feet warmer, their confidence rising, and intimacy starting to feel natural again. It's a chain reaction that begins with one effortless step. And unlike a quick fix or a pill that wears off after a few hours, building nitric oxide levels with L-citrulline happens gradually and sustainably. It's not about forcing your body, it's about giving it what it needs to do the job itself the way it used to. That's why the results don't just fade overnight, they build week after week. But knowing how to take it correctly can make all the difference between seeing mild results and truly transforming your circulation. And that's exactly what we're going to cover next: how to take your L-citrulline for maximum impact. When it comes to something as important as your circulation, the details matter. I've seen men try the right supplement, but take it at the wrong time, mix it with the wrong foods, or stop just when their bodies were starting to respond. L-citrulline works best when you treat it like a daily ritual, something you do with intention, not as an afterthought. I tell my patients to take 1 teaspoon, which is about 3 grams, first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. This allows your body to absorb it quickly without having to compete with a heavy meal. Mix it into a glass of water, a light juice, or even a morning smoothie. Just keep it simple. Some men like to make it part of their kitchen routine. They fill their glass while the coffee brews, drink it, and move on with their day. It's a habit so small, it's almost impossible to forget, but the effects over time can be remarkable. Hydration is another piece of the puzzle. Blood is mostly water, and when you're dehydrated, circulation suffers. That's why I recommend keeping a water bottle nearby throughout the day, especially if you're adding L-citrulline to your routine. And don't underestimate movement. Even a 20-minute walk after breakfast helps push that improved blood flow into every part of your body. Patience is key. Some men notice changes within a week, but for most, the real magic happens after a month or two of steady use. It's about building nitric oxide levels gradually so your body learns to keep those blood vessels open naturally. This isn't a race, it's an investment in the way you want to feel for years to come. And once you understand how simple it is to take, the next step is knowing why this particular powder and not dozens of other options can deliver results that are both powerful and lasting. That's where we bring the whole picture together. the power of a natural solution. So here it is, gentlemen. Your 1 spoon is pure L-citrulline powder, not a mystery pill, not a gimmick, but a simple amino acid your body already knows how to use. I've recommended it to athletes looking for better endurance, to men recovering from heart procedures, and to countless patients over 60 who wanted nothing more than to feel like themselves again. And time after time, I've seen it help restore not just circulation, but a sense of possibility. What makes L-citrulline so remarkable is that it works with your body's own chemistry instead of forcing a quick temporary rush like so many medications do. It helps your body rebuild its ability to produce nitric oxide naturally. That means better blood flow to your heart, your brain, your muscles, and yes, to the place that matters most when it comes to intimacy. And because it's safe for most men and free from the harsh side effects that can come with prescription options, it's something you can confidently make part of your everyday life. I've watched men who thought their days of passion were over come back with a spark in their eyes. I've seen relationships warm up after years of distance. And I've heard more than one man say, "Doctor, I feel like I got a piece of myself back." That's not just biology at work. That's what happens when you give your body the tools it's been missing for years. All of this from 1 teaspoon each morning. It doesn't require rearranging your life, it doesn't drain your wallet, and it doesn't put you at risk. It's about making one small choice consistently until that choice changes how you feel, how you connect, and how you live. And now that you know the science, the habit, and the emotional impact, it's time to take this knowledge and turn it into action. Final thoughts. Reclaiming your vitality. Here's what we've uncovered. After 60, your circulation shifts. Dropping nitric oxide levels steal your confidence, but a daily teaspoon of L-citrulline can help reclaim what aging took. This isn't about turning back the clock. It's about helping your body function at its natural best without shortcuts or side effects. In my practice, I've witnessed remarkable transformations, not just physically, but in how men stand taller, reconnect with their partners, and greet each morning with renewed purpose. A simple daily ritual can create waves of change across your entire life. The question isn't, can this help? But how much better could life be? Tomorrow morning, that single spoonful could start rewriting your story, one where vitality, intimacy, and confidence return faster than you dare hope.